first heard of the Amazing Marriage Project, the first thing that came to mind, honestly, was my parents. So when I think of an amazing marriage, they're just always the example that I think of. They're always the people that come to mind. Their marriage has been so amazing, but in such a simple way. I think it's definitely shaped the way that I think about marriage, and I think it's made me believe that it's possible because I grew up with it. It's always been about the two of them, and I've always been able to keep that as what's most important, and none of the dinners or the shoes or the bags or the whatever mattered.
For us, it works best to just be with each other.
He cares about nothing more than making her happy and doing anything he possibly can to make her happy. And it's like the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I don't know another human being who would do that.
And I think if I was to say, other than mutual respect, is that I put her first. And I think she puts me first.
So they'll wake up in the morning.
When we get up and I ask her, what do you want for breakfast this morning? It's usually very simple. It's usually the same thing. It's a 1-egg omelet.
Dad will put on his sweats and his slippers that he's had for 35 years.
Steve is usually already downstairs making breakfast for me.
He'll walk downstairs. He will put a pan on the stove and cook her eggs. She likes them cremated, not wet.
And I make her cheese omelet.
He'll sit it down. And then he'll start doing all of the dishes that he just made. He'll walk her out the door.
I walk her to her car.
And he'll be pulling her little wheelie, like teacher wheelie case.
I wheel it out for her and I put it into the trunk and
Pop the trunk, put the teacher case in the trunk, help her in the car. Stand there, she drives away, and then turn around and go in the house and do something.
So some of the things we like to do together on an everyday basis, we definitely love our walks.
Their walks. They take walks around the block. They literally purchased our homes. Every home that we ever kind of moved to has to be based on the walkability. Like our first home, the home that I grew up in, was on a cul-de-sac. And so they would always if my grandmother was over, leave us with whoever was in the home at the time, on a weekend, and take walks with each other. And they still do it. It's 30 something years later and they're still taking walks.
we'd leave the kids at home and we'd go walk around the block for half an hour. That was just
a break. Just to
a
always
break,
have a break.
and just a way to decompress. And
They kind of walked around the block for 30 years and everything that they planned on the block happened.
pretty much plan the future for them and for ourselves. We still do that. And I remember from almost the first month that we were married doing so. And we always talked about our plans and what are our ideas and what are our expectations of our kids and what are our goals for them and our ambitions for them and for ourselves. And there was a lot of talking, and there was a lot of storytelling and a lot of imagining and dreaming. And honestly,
It
came true. I mean,
we made it a reality.
Sounds corny, but
I know.
It worked. I don't know how, but it worked.
What's definitely changed over time is the fact that there's no kids to distract them, so they get this one-on-one time with each other, and they decide what they're gonna eat together, and they cook together, and they sit down at the dinner table, and it's so funny. He always tells me, he's like, it's like when we were 23, 24 years old.
It feels exactly like it did when we were newlyweds.
And it's just really cute, all the little things that I'm sure they did before we were around. They get to kind of revisit.
Yeah.
Very, very weird, but it feels exactly the same.
They love each life stage. So they're really loving every life stage that they move into with each other. They love it, and it's like their time. All of these things happen, or medical issues and doctor's appointments and parents, and this and that and the other. These are things that when you're young and you're married and you're new or you're in a new relationship, you never can really fully grasp is going to happen or is going to be your life, or that these are the trials and tribulations that you're gonna face, but they have done it in such a way, it's just sort of our whole lives kind of shown us what a successful marriage is over 30 plus years.
we are best friends, and that's why it works.